All right, good to have you here today. Let's go ahead and give the shoulders a little roll out. Maybe just kind of noticing how they're feeling here. And then let's roll forward. Good, let's roll back again. Then allow the shoulders to roll back and down, release down. You can take your hands on your thighs and you can just peek at your feet here as well. Make sure that your knees are landing over your ankles. Legs are about hips distance apart. Feel those sit bones pressing down into your chair. That feeling of rooting down helps you to lengthen through the sides of your waist. Allow your eyelids to close if they're not already. Take a nice, smooth, deep inhale through your nose. And open your mouth. Sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Inhale, full, deep inhale. Fill up. And exhale, let the breath go. Ha. One more time like that. Inhaling, filling up. Maybe find a little pause at the top. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. And then allowing the lips to seal, start to inhale through your nose. And then also exhale through your nose. You might be constricting the sides of your throat a little bit, finding your ujjayi breath. So it sounds like ocean waves rolling in and out. That feels a little too intense today, especially if it's hot where you're at. You kind of just skip that. You'll still inhale and exhale through your nose, but it won't have that same effort. And you're really bringing your attention to the sound of your breath. It becomes your soundtrack here. It becomes your metronome. All the chatter that's happening in the room you're in, all the chatter that might be happening in your head, it just melts into the background, fades away. Until your breath becomes the most important thing. From time to time, your attention will wander. When that happens, when you become aware of that, and just smile to yourself, you come back to the rhythm of your breath, that sound of your breath. Come back to that place of stillness within. A couple more moments here. You might do a little body scan at this stage of the game. Notice if tension is creeping into the body anywhere. A lot of times that's going to be in the shoulders, the back of the neck. Maybe you're tensing your fingers or toes. Maybe you're tensing your jaw. Can you soften in those spots? You can keep your eyes closed here, but let's go ahead and start to stretch in the neck. So as you exhale, just drop your chin towards your chest. Might not be very far for this first one. So trying to get the back of the neck to lengthen and open up. Send your exhale to those fibers in the back of the neck. Just visualize your breath creating some space, creating some ease. Inhale, lift your chin. And then exhale, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. That left shoulder might want to pop up here. Actually, both of them might want to. Try to keep them releasing down. And again, this very first neck stretch of the day can feel really intense. So you don't have to go to your maximum. In fact, the muscles in your neck probably won't even let you at this stage of the game. Let's keep that right ear leaning towards the right shoulder, but then start to tuck your chin as well. And that's going to shift the sensation in the left side of your neck. It's going to take the stretch to some different places. You're keeping that breath smooth and steady, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose. Shoulder blades releasing down your back towards your sit bones. And then keeping the chin tucked here, just start to drop your chin towards your chest. So making that little half quarter roll forward again. So we're in the position that we just started in. Maybe you're starting to find some space in the back of the neck. Maybe you're not. You're just noticing what's going on with your body today. Let's inhale, lift the chin. And then feeling those shoulders just relaxing down. Exhale, drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. Hold on to that feeling of shoulders releasing down. Again, breath smooth and steady. How does this side feel different in your body than the other side? All right, go ahead and tuck your chin here. And just notice how that shifts where you're feeling the sensation in the right scapula, the right neck area, shoulder. Send your exhale to any spots that are a little extra tight, a little extra tender. Good, keep that chin tucked. Just make that little quarter turn. Back to center. As you press into your sit bones, can you lengthen through the sides of your waist? Can you carry that length to that back channel of your neck? Inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose. And then go ahead and inhale, lift your chin. Give the shoulders another little roll out. And then let's release the arms by our sides. There's a little external rotation at that shoulder socket. As you inhale, take the arms out and up. Really firming muscle to bone here. And then exhale, spin the palms out like you're moving through really, really thick air. Inhale, stretch the arms forward and up. And again, you can just give yourself a little resistance here. Exhale, stretch forward and down. Warming up the shoulder girdle, inhale out and up. Exhale out and down. One more stretching forward as you inhale. See how long you can get. Beautiful work as you exhale, stretch the arms forward and down. And then let's inhale, take the arms out and up. Exhale, bring the arms to shoulder height. Deep inhale here. Exhale, twist to the right, stretch out, and then just release your hands down. So right hand grabs a piece of chair behind you. Left hand can come to your left thigh or your right thigh. As you press into your sit bone, can you wrap those left ribs to the right? You can even push into that right hand a little bit. Maybe it helps you to find a little more of that twisting sensation. And there's even a little bit of back bending sensation here, especially in the thoracic. So we've got a little feeling of cobra pose in our upper body. Gaze is soft and gentle, just really seeing what's in front of you. Breath is constant. Inhale and that exhale, steady rhythm. All right, let's take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, unwind, we're gonna visit the twist again. So you can do exactly the same one if that felt good. Or if you would like to walk, bring your left leg off to the center a little, and then maybe take your right leg and cross it over. So still sitting nice and tall here, rooting into those sit bones. It's gonna feel a little different with the legs in this configuration. Again, let's inhale. Let's actually stretch forward and up this time. Exhale. Reach out wide. Feel the shoulder blades really squeezing in towards each other as you inhale. Exhale. Twisting to the right again. Nice deep inhale. And then exhaling, releasing hands down. So just notice how with the legs crossed like this, if you're doing that variation, how it almost feels like you can twist the left ribs, especially that lower left waist, a little more. Can you keep pressing evenly into both sit bones? Probably that right one's getting a little lighter. And then option again to stay here like this. If you'd like to start to hinge forward a little bit, maybe you bend your left elbow, start to hinge at your waist, and then you hook that left elbow to the outside of your right thigh, perhaps pressing your right palm into your left palm. Use that leverage once again to help you wrap left ribs to the right. Noticing with each of these little variations, these little changes that we make, how the sensation shifts in your body. You start to feel things differently. Breath smooth and steady, gaze soft and gentle. Good. As you inhale, just upright yourself. You can keep the palms pressing together, and then exhale, come to center. And then from here, let's come into a hip opener. So you might just slide this right leg over a little bit. You might need to take that left leg off to the left. So again, landing with your knee underneath your ankle. This variation isn't working. You can uncross legs and just find any amount of hip opening on this right side. And we're going to take several breaths here. And you can use your right hand to press your right thigh back. If you're in the variation that I'm doing right now, you can use your hand, the strength of your arm, to press down if you're in that seated pigeon shape. Paying attention to the sensations happening in this right hip, groin, glute area. Doing a little less if you need to. So anytime something feels too intense, you can back out a little bit and take a little mini break if you need to. All right, so let's just release our hands down here. Inhale, reach out and up. And then exhale, take the arms out wide again. So widening across your collarbones. You're feeling those shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other as you inhale here. And then exhale, we twist to the right again. As you exhale, the next time you can release your hands down. So finding a little leverage. If you're in the seated pigeon variation, your left hand can come to the outside of your right thigh. It could be anywhere on that right shin. If you're in these warrior two legs like I am, it might feel better to have your left hand on your left thigh. And so here we are, twisting on this right side again, but we've got a different configuration with our legs. So you are observing how it shifts what you're feeling in your body, all while keeping your breath smooth and steady. Good, let's take a deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, you unwind. And then we're going to come back to center. So just finding your nice Tadasana. If you're not there already, you can make little adjustments. So find those sit bones again. Land with your legs about hips distance apart. Just peek to see that your knees are still over your ankles. Good. Let's release the arms down by our sides. This time, let's inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, forward and down. Open up those palms. Inhale, reach out and up again. Just giving yourself a little resistance as you exhale. Really press the air as you release the arms down. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, forward and down. Good, open up the palms, reaching up on your inhale. And exhale. All right, reaching forward and up here. Good, and then exhale out to halfway. So wrists in line with shoulders. Deep inhale, fill up, lengthen through the sides of your waist. Exhale, twist to the left, really extend through your fingertips as you inhale. And then exhale, hands release down. So grab a piece of chair behind you. Right hand might be on right thigh, it might be on left thigh. You can press into that left hand a little bit and press your right shoulder head back. Maybe that helps you to wrap these right ribs to the left a little more. Breath smooth and steady here. Nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, you unwind, come back to center. So we're going to visit that twist again. You can do it exactly as you just did, or if you want that variation of legs crossed over one another, maybe bring this right leg a little more towards the center, so walking it towards the left. And then you can cross your left thigh over your right thigh. Side to side, the poses can look really different. So if it isn't working on this side, staying in Tadasana mountain pose is absolutely fine. Really root down into both sit bones. That left one is going to lift a little bit. It just makes sense that it is since it's on top. And let's inhale, take the arms out and up. Exhale, bring the wrists to shoulder height. Deep inhale here. And then as you're exhaling and emptying out, you twist to the left. Inhale, extend through your fingertips. Exhale, release, hands down. So kind of the same idea that we had with our last twist. You're using the leverage of your hands on your thigh and on the chair to help you press your shoulder heads back, to help you wrap those right ribs to the left a little more. But again, paying attention to how this twist feels different. You're going to kind of feel different areas being targeted if you're doing this leg variation, these eagle pose legs here. Visualize your breath going to the spots that are a little tight, a little congested. So we have the option to morph this pose again here. You might stay exactly as you are. If you'd like to bend that right elbow, start to hinge forward. So you're hooking your elbow to the thigh, and then maybe you press that left palm vigorously into the right palm, and you can think of that right palm pressing back. Right ribs wrap to the left. Breath smooth and steady. Observing where the sensation shifts when you're in this configuration. You might be feeling a little more of the twist in the upper body. Can you find some of that idea of cobra pose in the upper body, sternum lifting upwards, little openness across your heart and chest. On an inhale, gently lift, come back to center, and then we'll find a little hip opening and then take that into a twist. So again, a couple of options. You could Just find a like warrior two leg here. So finding some hip opening in this left thigh. Maybe you can keep that left ankle hanging over your right knee. And we'll be here for several breaths. This can be really intense. Of course, you can use your hand to give you a little more, kind of like intensify things a little bit. You might not need to do that, especially if the hips are really tight. So you're paying attention to how your body is feeling, doing more if you need to, doing less if you need to. Always keeping that breath smooth and steady. From here, you can release your arms down. Inhale, let's reach forward and up. Exhale, wrists come in line with the shoulders. Deep inhale, lengthen through both sides of your waist. Hold on to that as you exhale. Twisting to the left again. Right hand can come anywhere on this shin. It could be anywhere on this right thigh. Some of us might be able to get it to the left thigh. A lot of that just has to do with the length of the limbs. So if you can't, it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. Little back bend in the upper body. Feel that sternum lift up towards the ceiling. Good. Deep inhale here. Let's exhale, unwind, come back to center. Uncross your left ankle or bring that left leg in. And then let's just, after all of that twisting, some cat-cow will feel really nice. So hands resting on your thighs, legs hip distance apart. As you inhale, you're going to rock forward on your sit bones. And exhale, you're going to move in the opposite direction, chin towards chest, rounding in. And then continue like this, really move with your breath. So your breath is your metronome. Don't feel like there's a rush. You can really stretch this out if that feels good. Really pay attention to your spine, to how it's feeling. Maybe even bring your attention to your neck. So especially as we're coming into this cat shape, we're rounding in, you're dropping your chin to your chest. Is that starting to feel easier as we've started to warm things up? Enjoy this sensation of connecting movement with breath. So finding this idea of vinyasa, of moving meditation. this sense of rhythm in your body. Few more rounds here. Good. And then on your next inhale, you're rolling up to tall seat, finding that nice Tadasana mountain pose. Let's release the arms down by our sides. And then let's start stretching into the side body a little bit with a little flow here. So inhale, take that left arm up and over. Exhale, release down. Inhale, right arm up and over. And exhale, release. And then you're just continuing like this. And again, if your breath is a little different than my pace, go with yours. It can sometimes feel really nice as long as you feel steady and stable to close your eyes. So really bringing your attention inward. Again, luxuriating in this sense of rhythm, in this movement, this moving meditation, as we flow a little bit with this simple vinyasa. Let's do a few more to each side. Maybe it feels like your side body, your waist is getting a little longer. Really nice. So do one more to each side. So you'll end on that left side and come back to center. Feel both sit bones root. Give your shoulders another little wiggle out. And then place your hands on your thighs again and then start to give your hips, pelvic girdle a little wiggle out. Good, you can slowly start to reverse direction. Feeling that play as your weight shifts from one sit bone to the other. Good. And then just making your way back up to your Tadasana, seated mountain pose. So let's do a little back bending here. I'm going to just turn my chair sideways so you can see. So kind of coming into some cobra poses, and we'll do a few different variations here. Just might be a little easier to see. So you're going to basically keep your Tadasana, shoulders over sit bones, knees over your ankles. And then let's just reach back and grab something behind you. And if you don't have something behind you, you could even reach for the bottom of the chair. You could even keep your hands on your thighs. So lots of options. You're going to keep your gaze forward. Let's hold onto the chair and then start to stretch forward a little bit. As you're doing this, can you keep your shoulder heads pressing back and feel those shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other? Feeling that little lift of your sternum up towards the ceiling. Breath is smooth and steady. So pretty intense shoulder neck stretch. Definitely you're getting the back bend sensation here. And then let's inhale, just come back to that nice tall seat. Take a couple of breaths. You might even close your eyes here. Do a little mini check-in. Reconnect with that rhythm, that sound of your breath. So let's do that same thing again, same variation. So again, just grabbing something behind you and just holding on and then stretching forward. It might even feel kind of good here to drop your chin towards your chest a little bit. I'm getting a nice little stretch in my upper spine. Like the scapula are really squeezing in towards each other. And then you can start to bend the elbows, come back to your nice tall seat, that Tadasana, that mountain pose. So in that variation, using the chair, we're getting a lot more like lumbar back bending. So let's take it more into the thoracic. So we're going to kind of keep our shoulders balanced. We're going to come into more of a classic camel pose, which is a very intense pose. So let's actually take hands to hips. And then your hands are going to kind of be like your vice grips. So they're helping to squeeze everything in. Elbows squeeze in. And then shoulder heads start to roll back. You can drop your chin towards your chest. And then imagine that you have a wheel in your heart. And you're trying to spin your thoracic up towards the ceiling. And it's not going to be a lot of movement. Because again, we're trying not to overdo it in the lower back, the lumbar, which is naturally more flexible. If you wanted to here, you could start to lift your gaze up. Can you keep your elbow squeezing in as you do that? Good, deep inhale. And then exhale, let that go. So start to drop your chin towards chest. Find your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Allow your eyelids to close. Notice how you're feeling. So for me personally, I find Ustrasana to be one of the most challenging poses, at least in my body. I'm for sure feeling a little heat. My heart has sped up a little bit. All right, so let's do one more of those. So again, hands come to your hips, they squeeze in. So this is already the basic shape. But then from deep within your sternum, it's like you're trying to lift the sternum to your chin. And you can keep the chin tucked, the back of the neck nice and long. Or you might start to bring your gaze up, lifting the chin. This time, if you wanted to, you might even play with dropping the head back. So for some of us, that's not going to feel very good. So no pressure to do it. For some of us, it's going to feel wonderful to stretch out the front of the neck, something that we don't do a whole lot. Continue to press into your sit bones as those outer hips squeeze inward. And then think that wheel in your heart, spinning up as you start to lift your head. Coming back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose, hands on your thighs, eyelids closed. Let everything slow down here. Take a few breaths. So back bends are really energizing. You might feel a little burst of energy here. They're certainly heating. So to let that go, let's do a few rounds of our Ardha Surya Namaskar, and then we'll do one final twist and forward fold, I think, which will feel really nice. But as a little palate cleanser, let's just take a few rounds of our Ardha Surya Namaskara. So finding your mountain pose again. If you have blocks that you like to use, you can take them by your feet. That can be really nice. It's just a way of bringing the floor closer. They're not necessary. As we inhale, we take up lots of space. Feel that lift of the heart. We just opened it up a lot in those back bends. As you exhale, you can swan dive in. You can use your hands to help you roll on down. Chin drops towards chest here. Inhale, chest lengthens forward. This is where you might press hands into blocks or shins or thighs. As you exhale, release back in. Inhale, rooting down. You can roll up. You can do that reverse swan dive up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. And you got two more of these on your own, just moving with your breath. If it is preferable to just move back into cat-cow or simply sit quietly, that is also an option. Really soak up that sound of your breath. And it's your soundtrack. It's your metronome. And it's the piece of our yoga practice that threads all of the poses together. Good. Just pausing with your palms together, heart center. And blink your eyes open. So we're going to release our hands down. Inhale, arms reach out and up. And we're going to just take that Uttanasana for our forward fold here. So if you don't want to go all the way down, if you have a table or a piece of wall in front of you, you could also just kind of give yourself a little support.
Gonna hang out here for a few breaths. Let your chin release towards your chest. Back of the neck lengthening. And then stay in the forward fold. We're just gonna take your blocks if you have them, walk them off to the right. So we've done a lot of twisting today. This is yet another shape that we've been in while we're twisting. This deep forward fold with both of the legs neutral. Should be feeling that stretch pretty deep on that lower left waist. You can think of those left ribs rolling towards your thighs. Have you started to grip in your neck? Can you soften there? And then let's walk back to center and off to the left. Really anchor down into that right sit bone. Use that as leverage to help wrap those right ribs to the left. Back of the neck lengthens and releases. And breath smooth and steady. Let's walk back to center. Few breaths here. Maybe you can fold in a little deeper. Maybe the back of your neck is lengthening a little more. And then like your little ragdoll, start to roll on up. Just being mindful after those forward folds, sometimes you can get a little head rush as you're coming up. The shoulders a little roll out here. And let's move into some breath work before we come into our final resting pose, Shavasana. So let's do a little of our alternate nostril breathing. So give the wrists a little roll out here. And then you can kind of stretch out the fingers, give them a little wiggle. All right, so let's start with our left hand today. Let's just mix it up. So blocking the nostrils doesn't really matter what finger configuration you do. If you want to bend the second and third, that's more of the classic configuration. So find that bony part of the nose and then release down to the cartilage, so the soft tissue. And just be mindful that the elbow, the shoulder like to lift here. So just keep them relaxing down. Allow your eyelids to close if they haven't already. Go ahead and inhale through both nostrils. And exhale through both nostrils. Good. Block right, inhale left. Exhale left. Block left, inhale right. Exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Exhale left. Block left, inhale right. Exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Exhale left. Block left, inhale right. Exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Exhale left. Block left, inhale right. Exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Exhale left. Block left, inhale right. Exhale right. Release your left hand down, inhale through both nostrils. Exhale through both nostrils, and then go ahead and lift your right hand. Again, inhale through both nostrils. Exhale through both nostrils. Block left, inhale right. Exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Exhale left. Block left, inhale right. Exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Exhale left. Block left, inhale right. Exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Exhale left. Block left, inhale right. Exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Exhale left. Block left, inhale right. Exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Exhale left. Release your right hand down. Inhale through both nostrils. Exhale through both nostrils. Inhale through both nostrils. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. And then moving towards some sort of resting pose here. So you probably are going to just stay exactly where you are. Though you are certainly welcome to take a forward fold, a supported child's pose. So resting your forehead on a table in front of you. You could certainly come to classic shavasana if that's available to you. Otherwise, you might just be shifting how you're thinking about the pose you're in. So you're thinking of it as more of a resting pose. You're feeling receptive. You're feeling a sense of surrender. You're inviting the body and brain to assimilate this work that we've done together this past hour. So really give yourself permission to be quiet and still to soak up these final few moments. Shavasana.
Asato ma satgamaya. Tamaso ma joy tirgamaya. Mrityorma mritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Go ahead and let your next inhale be deeper. And open your mouth, sigh the breath out, ha. And just start to bring gentle movement back to your body. So wiggling, stretching, whatever feels good here. Eventually landing with your hands in a pile on top of your heart. Send yourself love and gratitude for carving out space in your day to breathe, to move. Promise yourself that you're going to carry this good feeling you worked so hard to create with you into the rest of the day, week, weekend ahead. And finally, just bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work.